Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Curly G TV here. I'm gonna go over some settings to make your overall life better and have better visuals. What we're gonna do is we're gonna turn down the graphics of the overall game. Well, if you have an NVIDIA card, making it sharper and making it look better. So the game will look a little bit better. The shadows look a little bit weird still, but you know, shadows to me aren't a big deal as long as I can get a lot of frames. So if you go into your preferences, one thing I do is bandwidth mode, set that to high. Now under gameplay, you're going to want to enable camera shake off, just so your camera doesn't shake when you're fighting big bosses. It's pretty annoying. It's hard to aim. Always show reticle on. Let's see. Always show weapons. You want to turn that on, and the reason why is you can see on the very bottom right of my screen, it shows both weapons, even if I swap between the two. So you want to go ahead and have that set. Let's see, let's go back over here. Show extra ability cooldown, you want that on. Reason why, let's say I use this ability. See that 15-second timer right above where it says Y and right above my health bar. That right there, it's just nice to not have to look down to the bottom right to see what's going on. So you can just kind of look down. Your health is down there, so it's just a little quick glance. The only thing is if you swap weapons, it doesn't show the cooldown there. It will show it at the bottom right. So I'm not sure why it does that, but hopefully that will get fixed. But anyway, moving on. Settings. Accept dual invites, set that to off. The reason why, if you're in the open world and somebody sends you a dual invite, and there's other people around, it could end up getting you killed. So go ahead and turn that off. If you want a duel, just turn it on at that time. Now, as far as the healing, that's all kind of personal preference. I don't do any of the healing personally. Alright, so under key bindings, one big thing you want to do is swap active weapons. You want to put that as just one button press, because there's only two weapons, so you can easily swap between the two with just one, instead of having to hit, like, you know, two different buttons for the swapping between one weapon. Just set it to one button. It's way easier that way. Now, if you go into visuals, as you will see here, I have everything, you know, medium on effects, just because, you know, I like a little bit of stuff going on for the effects. Now, you could turn this down to low if you wanted to. It's up to you. Everything else is set to low. Show FPS, I have that on. One thing I do, I set my max FPS to 60, and the reason why is if I uncap it, my card tends to run a little warm. You can kind of test it out, see how it goes for you, but I would recommend definitely testing this because you don't want your card to run too hot all the time. So try that out. 60 didn't make a huge difference. Now you're not going to be able to see this because it's an overlay, but if you have an NVIDIA card, I'll walk you through how to do this. Now if you have the NVIDIA GeForce Experience, you want to hold Alt and then press Z. That's going to bring up your GeForce Experience. Now you want to go to the bottom left where it says Game Filter, and then under Styles, you can kind of mess around with this, but under Styles, go to 1, 2, or 3. I go to 1. You can kind of mess around with it, like I said. Now go to Add Filter. Now one of the things I have 4 things here enabled, and I'll show, let's see. So you want to do color is one of them. That's what I do. Now it depends on your monitor, obviously. I like to have a little bit more color. Now I put my tint color to 0, tint intensity to 0, temperature 0.5, and vibrance at 10.5. And that works really well with my monitor. But like I said, kind of play with it and see what you like. Now under sharpen, I enabled sharpen. And intensity, I hit 0%, and ignore film grain, I hit 100% on that, just so. And the reason why is because you want to add another filter that's called details. And under details, there's sharpen there. So I put sharpen at 31%, clarity at 71%, HDR toning at 49%, and bloom at 15%. Now, the reason why I put HDR toning at 49, you could go higher and it kind of brightens stuff up. But I noticed in certain areas with like fire, things look a little bit weird and a little too bright. So I found that to be the sweet spot. Under brightness, I also added another filter that's called brightness and contrast. So Exposure is -1%, contrast -4. Highlights I did -100%, and again, the same reason with the HDR toning. When I had this up a little bit too high, things would just reflect kind of weird. Shadows at -10% and gamma is 0%. So just going over real fast, 4 total filters. You have color, sharpen, details, and brightness and contrast. And if you go and you add those settings, your game will look a lot better, and you should be getting more frames as well. So go ahead and play with that. I apologize for not having the overlay on NVIDIA. I'm a new streamer and stuff like that, new content creators. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and throw out a comment how I could do better, and subscribe. I stream this game currently, so go ahead and stop in and say hello. Thanks, everybody. Bye.